Okay, so this is a demonstration on printing a wood block. This is a current wood block that I'm working on now. I've already done the initial carving. I've removed the white space, and I'm inking and printing the first layer of color. Been printing for a little bit today. I've got about 15 done so far with this block. And I'm just going to kind of walk you through kind of the steps on this one. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here to my inking station. You can see where I have kind of a nice color of blue I'm working on. It's a little bit off in the screen here. Here's my braille, and then the ink I mixed up special for this print. Now when you look back over here, my palette knife, I'm going to scrape clean this section here. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to need more ink because this is too dry and there's not enough left to keep printing. Okay, so here we are back to what we're doing here. Getting the ink. You see all that ink nice in there? Pull this over here. Hopefully I don't make too big of a mess doing this one-handed. I'm going to get a little ink out. And I have a little bit of ink left over from where I scraped it clean a second ago. And I'm just going to put more ink there. Now it's really important that you kind of keep everything out of the way of the inking process. So I always kind of go through the same procedure every time I put down more color. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to use this product. This is glycerin. You find it in the beauty section of most grocery stores, at least here in the States. I'm going to pop the top. I'm only going to use a few drops of this. This is a ink extender. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got my garage door open today. It's hot, and my main lights system right there, bulb's burnt out. I haven't made it to the hardware store yet. So what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to take my braille, and I will start rolling the ink. You can kind of see the lines in it. The ink's just a little bit too thick. So what I find myself doing a lot of times is I'll make a palette, my roll with my braille, and you can see I'm rolling in one direction, and then I'm stopping and I'm rolling the other way. I don't know if you can hear that or if you can kind of see the nice little texture, but that's what I'm going for. Nice even mixture of ink. I don't know if you can see that with the light on across the braille. So I'm going to start rolling it. And sorry, I know the video is a little off, but I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'm just getting more ink. And I'm going to roll in one direction. Now, you see me kind of rolling frontwards and back. You normally, let's see, I'm getting more ink. Making it nice and smooth. You really want to kind of do something like this. So you start and you just roll forward. Rolling back, it will actually pull ink off. When I roll back this way, it's actually going to remove a small amount of ink. But depending on the block I'm doing, don't always have problems with it. So I'm getting a little bit more ink. Since I'm putting this one through my press, I do have a tendency to roll front and back a lot, because I want a nice even layer of ink across. And doing this, going back across it, you'll actually pull ink off. But I noticed a section where I've over inked, and you can tell by the texture it gets really really too bumpy. You can see I got all my inking station over here. You can kind of look at my hands. This ink will spread. Now I'm using a water soluble ink produced by oh well, that's not good. Produced by Blick. This is water soluble, which means I don't need any harsh special chemicals to clean it up, which is good because I'm in my studio. While I have a washer and dryer, I have no direct water source. So that's kind of that. Now my next goal here, and I'm going to have to see if I can do this one-handed. It's kind of hard to do. You see the edges here. Now in this block, this is my first time to do it, I have a section at the top, and I have a section at the bottom that I've actually carved away. And that allows me to grab this block and move it easier. So what I normally do is I'm holding the block in my left hand, set up the camera. What I'm doing right now is I am trying to remove any of the ink that are on these raised edges down here, because I don't actually want this to print. That is just it's just for the grip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move this one. Now I'm looking here and there's a few spots right around here. The ink looks a little thin, so I might have a few issues when it comes to the printing process, but putting it through the press like I'm doing today, sometimes stuff like that kind of comes out in the wash and it isn't that big of an issue. And the other thing are these raised edges right here in the groove. Some printmakers will like to go back and remove that. Let's see if I can show you this. So I'm just going to run. This is just a wadded up piece of paper towel. Not paper towel, newspaper. You can use paper towel. I have before. So now I'm going to come back over here. And what I built for today's print project is a registration block. I know there's different ways to do registration. This is just a technique I'm trying out today. And the reason why I'm doing registration, let me kind of get the block in here. Oops. Just a second. Sorry. Okay, so the reason why I'm putting the block in here, as you can see, I've got this check set up, and the plate's going to go in the exact same spot every time. In this block, I'm going to try to do multiple colors. I'm going to go for about 4 different colors, not including the white space. I guess 5 if you can consider negative space. So I want to keep the paper and the block in the exact same spot every time. And since I'm using the same paper to print all the colors on, you can kind of see where I'm going with it. I'm going to put this down just a second so I can get this paper laid in here, because I don't want to mess it up. So hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm going to do. When you go to lay it down, hold it from the corners. And what I found using this registration block, I kind of hold it down where the mat board is. So I'm holding it down like this as I'm laying it with the other hand kind of spread across. Now what I like to do a lot of times, so hopefully you can kind of see this as well. Well, apparently I found the limit of how long this camera will let me go. What I like to do at this point, once I get the paper down on the block, I use my bin. That's my Braille's ink. This is my bin. I kind of like to go at once over on the back. That helps keep this paper, you can kind of see it's attached. Pull up here. You kind of see that paper is attached to that wood block, which is good because I'm about to move it here to my press, and I don't want the paper to move around too much or slip around or anything. I think I can do this one-handed. So I'm just gonna pick this up very carefully. And kind of what I like to do, since I'm using this registration and that guides and that right corner, is I kind of move it around a little bit, make sure it's nice and seated firm. Now, as you can see, I'm using about every inch of my press bed. I'm just a little bit here. Sorry about that. I'm not using. Okay, you can kind of see where the ink's starting to come through the paper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my blanket down. This press is an etching press by Blick. It's one of the Econo 2 model, I believe. Yeah, let me get it in there. Blick Econo Etch Model 2. I don't really do a lot of etching with it, and I do mostly relief. So I use it as a nice even print. Let me get the press going, and then I'll show you it in action. So I'm getting the press bed going. You can kind of see action here as I roll it through. Hope nobody gets seasick. Me moving back and forth, sorry. Okay. Now what I've got to do with my press is I've got to pull the press bed out just a tad. Okay, so now you see that. And what I can do, I can lift one corner. You see this whole area where I was wiping down, I still got a little bleed through on it. That's okay. Trying to print 30 prints today. Gives me enough wiggle room in case I have any issues later on the other colors. I'm just going to quickly pull off this paper. You can kind of see the white space. It says Rose Bowl. It's a bowling alley in Route 66 down the street from here. It shut down. Kind of an interesting story behind that one. I'll tell you another time, maybe. So I'm just gonna slip this in here. Yeah, so there you go. And as you can see, I've got quite a few already done, but I've got quite a few more to go. Because here is my stack of ones I want to try to get, if I can do it. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. I'll see if I remember. I'll get the other colors. I can show you more of the process of this block. Thanks.